Let me tell you something about nighttime. When the sun goes down and the lights of Brooklyn start flickering on, a strange kind of magic fills the air. For most, nighttime means sleep, quiet, and the distant sounds of the city settling. But for me, nighttime is freedom. It's my time, a world where Henry and I have the streets to ourselves, and the only one watching is the moon. Now, my name's Frank. I'm a bulldog, in case you couldn't tell from my impressive jowls and stout build. Some might say I look like a grumpy potato with legs, but I've got character. And besides, Henry, my human, calls me handsome, and that's all I need to hear. Henry and I have a routine. Every night around 10, just after he gets back from his job at the insurance company. Whatever that is, probably some kind of don't fetch the stick activity humans do. He grabs my leash. I like to think of it as my royal robe, my signal that Frank is about to take his evening stroll and survey his domain. And out we go. The streets at night are my kingdom. There's an energy that I can't explain, and I feel it all the way down to my pores. Henry always humors me, letting me lead the way. "You're the boss," he says, even though we both know he's holding the leash. But hey, it's a partnership, right? Now let me tell you about the sights. There's the deli on the corner with its half-lit, open 24 hours sign. The aroma there is so rich that even a few steps away I can taste it. Pastrami, pickles, cheese, heaven in a sandwich. Sometimes Henry lets me pause for a sniff, but he always pulls me away before I can make a proper assessment of any dropped crumbs. Doesn't he understand this is my culinary research? Of course, there's also the alley cat, Mr. Tibbles. A scraggly fellow with one eye who thinks he's the king of the block. Every night he gives me a long, slow stare as if to say, "You again?" And every night I stare back like, "Yeah, it's me." "What are you going to do about it?" He swishes his tail. I snort, and our standoff continues. It's our thing. But nighttime isn't all familiar smells and cocky alley cats. Sometimes it's downright spooky. Take the shadows, for instance. I'm not ashamed to say that they make me a bit jumpy. Henry thinks it's hilarious when I stop dead, mid-walk, because a particularly sinister-looking lamppost has cast a shadow across my path. "It's just a shadow, Frank," he says, patting my head. But I swear, some of these shadows have teeth. Just the other day, one of them lunged at me from behind a trash bin. Sure, it turned out to be a crumpled pizza box, but you can never be too careful. The scariest thing, though, has to be the wind. You wouldn't believe the things it carries with it. Papers, leaves, mysterious scents, all at once. And don't even get me started on the infamous plastic bag. There's one in particular that lurks near the bodega, and every time it catches a gust of wind, it dances around like a ghost. I have a strict policy of barking at it until Henry pulls me away. Some things you just can't trust. But the best part of our walk, without a doubt, is when we reach the little park a few blocks down. The city sounds softened there, and the streetlights are fewer. The grass under my paws feels cool, and the whole area smells faintly of damp earth and flowers. The moon shines down, and for a few moments it feels like Henry and I are the only two in the whole world. He usually takes a seat on a bench, letting me roam around a bit on my own. Sometimes I'll chase a moth or dig at a particularly interesting patch of dirt, but mostly I just sit by his feet feeling, well, peaceful. We don't talk much. Henry and I have this unspoken understanding. He scratches behind my ears, I lean against his leg, and we just sit, watching the stars, smelling the night. I think he needs these moments as much as I do. One of the best things about our nightly walks is the cast of characters we run into. Let me tell you, Brooklyn by night is a whole different place from the busy, rushed world of daytime. There's old Joe, for example, a retired jazz musician who spends his evenings in front of his brownstone with a beat-up saxophone. Every time we pass, he plays a few notes just for me. Henry says it's a treat, and I couldn't agree more. The man's got soul.